Welcome to Mum Abroad's YouTube channel, where I'm joined today by Chris Everitt. Originally an economics teacher from the UK, Chris has been advising banks, financial institutions and private clients across 3 continents since 1998. He's a specialist in tax-efficient structuring and portfolio management. He shares his knowledge of global markets and local financial regulations to help clients achieve a financial security and long-term economic freedom. He's an expat and lived in 3 different continents, 8 different cities, and visited or worked in over 50 different countries. He's currently a consultant with Horbach Financial Advisors, working with clients across Germany. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Jane. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for joining me. Chris, as I mentioned in my introduction, you have a huge amount of experience living and working across the globe. Today, we're going to focus on Germany. What would you say are the biggest challenges faced by expats in Germany when it comes to finance?
Yeah, it's interesting. Hey, moving country is always a challenge. And if you add into that, the language differences and challenges and difficulties, cultural differences, and the system or process challenges, that's all very hard, especially in those first few weeks and months when you're just trying to find your feet and enjoy a place to live or find the right school for your kids. So all those things are quite a challenge. We help our clients with all those issues. So we're the intermediary. We talk to all the German-speaking and German language institutions in the background. Our job is to understand what the client in front of us needs and help them to come to a good decision and the right decision for them and their families, depending on the context. And the context is Germany and the legal regulations and obligations they have there. So, yeah, we try and take away as much of the pain and challenges and difficulties as possible.
That's always a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Life's hard enough,
So tell us a little bit about Horbach itself. Why is this company best suited to help?
I think for 3 reasons. One is that within the greater Horbach company, the expats team, we're all expats. We've all faced these challenges. We all come from and have lived in different countries. So we know the challenges that that you and your viewers are facing. We've all been there and done that, and made the mistakes already. So that puts us in a strong position to help, I think. Horbach itself is the 2nd largest financial consultancy in Germany. We're entirely independent, so we go out and find exactly the right product for our clients, the best value, and give them the best chance of achieving their long-term financial aims. And we're holistic is a word that's bandied around quite a lot. But my job personally, it's a bit like your house doctor, your GP. So I'm here to understand where your aches and pains are, and then draw in the right experts from across the field. Whether that's insurances for existential threats, or whether that's long-term pension planning, medium-term investments, or property. I can bring in the right experts that can help you.
You're a seasoned expat yourself, as we mentioned before.
Yeah.
How much does this help you identify opportunities for expat clients, do you think?
Well, it's we mentioned some of the challenges that expats have to deal with, but there are definitely opportunities as well. All sorts of cross-border tax advantages potentially. Clients come from one country, that could be their home country, or another stepping stone on their financial path, or their future path, and they're in Germany. So while there are challenges, there are potential opportunities, tax opportunities, legal opportunities, residence opportunities, or even investment opportunities. And it's our job to try and unpick, and find the right opportunities that are available for each individual client based on their individual situation.
So what would you say is your investment philosophy, Chris, and how does it make you stand out from the hundreds of other financial advisors out there? I know from my own experience, I'm forever getting emails, in my inbox from different advisors offering me different packages and so on. So how do you stand out from all of those other people out there?
Yeah. Well, there are many, really well qualified and really good financial advisors out there. In many ways, I don't think we aren't reinventing the wheel here. But I think what is really important, first of all, to say is that the exams that we do here are very onerous and very strict. The regulatory framework within Germany is very tough for financial advisors. It's a very high bar that we have to achieve. So, in the first instance, whoever you talk to, please make sure it's a German-based and regulated financial advisor. Across Europe, in particular, there is the ability to get advice from advisors based in different countries. And maybe that's fine, but I think you're safer working with a company that's regulated in Germany, especially if you're based in Germany. And then you have the degrees of protection and the degrees of knowledge and experience that we come to the table with. In terms of investment philosophy, I think everyone, I think there's a tendency sometimes to look for quick fixes. And our philosophy in the first instance is to understand you, the client, and where you're coming from, and what your thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams are, what you're trying to achieve over what time period, what's your appetite for risk. Are you quite conservative, or are you feeling a little bit more aggressive? And to put all those components into the equation, and go out to the market on your behalf, speak to the companies and the institutions and the finance houses involved that put together many of these investments, and make sure that the combination of those is absolutely right for you and your unique situation. It's a proper tailoring job. You can go and get the suit or jacket off the peg, and it'll do a job. But will it suit you and work with you, for the long term? And we don't just deal with a client today and forget about them. We're in constant touch for many cases throughout their lives, even after they leave Germany, if that's their intention. So we keep supporting them. We make sure that they stay on track, stay on path, and if their goals change, we make sure that the suit is tailored accordingly and make any changes necessary.
I'm guessing that you have a lot of first-time investors that come to you, but I'm also assuming that you have clients who come to you who have already invested and perhaps made mistakes. So what would you say are the most common investment mistakes that people tend to make?
It's an interesting one because, and I think it's about finding the right tool for the right job. People, not everybody, but sometimes I think it's possible to mistime the market, or think that the market can be timed when very often it can't be, or to look for short-term gains when your actual real objectives are long-term, or to follow trends without having all the professional tools to analyze and work with them properly. Crypto, for example, possibly that has a role, but it's dropped 40%. In Bitcoin's dropped 40% since October. So there's been some casualties there for those that invested in Bitcoin. And it goes back to my earlier question, my earlier answer, which was, if you understand, all the components, all the equations, all the things that make you and your needs and your requirements unique, then we can put together a properly fitted suit. You wouldn't try and bake a cake over a candle. You wouldn't try and light a candle with an oven. It has to be the right job, the right tool for the right job. Yeah, and that's our philosophy.
Chris, I'm curious to know what percentage of your clients are women. And do you think that there's been a change over the years, and that now women are more financially savvy than they used to be?
I have a lot of clients that are women. So the short answer is yes, many. It's not quite 50-50, but a very large percentage of my clients are women. We're a very women-centered organization. Horbach Expats was founded by, continues to be run by three women. So we're very much focused and support women in finance. Are they getting more savvy? Women are, like everybody, but women are very focused on on finance. They're learning more and more about how to use apps and how to use tools. So yes, they are becoming increasingly savvy. It sometimes depends on all sorts of background factors. But I think the one very interesting thing, the transition that's happened in the last 2 years, and of course it's down to COVID, is that most of our interactions, like this one, are online now. So in the good old bad old days, it would be clients having to come into an office, or occasionally us meeting them at some other venue. Now it can all happen online, and so clients can get on with their lives. They don't have to drop jobs or childcare or anything else that comes between them and sorting finances out. They can take 45 minutes to an hour. I've had so many consultancies where the client in front of me is bouncing a child on their knee, or a child is running up and asking questions, and that's totally cool. So the message out there is like, don't feel inhibited by that. We're available most of the time, and if you've got home conflicts or work conflicts, for the most part we can do our very best to work around them. But dealing with things online, it makes things very easy and convenient for everybody. So yeah, but it's our job to if people are feeling uncomfortable about finance or unsure about finance, it's our job to help them to clear up the questions and the difficulties and the challenges, and put the best range of solutions and choices in front of them so that they can make a good decision which will help them on their financial future.
I think the issue is that we can all Google things, and we can all look things up online, but there's just so much information out there, you just don't know where to start. And so it just seems to make sense, doesn't it, to be able to talk to one person about these financial issues.
It does. It's to go back to the doctor analogy. If you've got an ache or a pain, yeah, of course, you can try and Google it, and you'll get some sort of answer, but it will be fairly generic and maybe inappropriate, and might even be an absolute disaster. So speak to your GP, speak to your house doctor, and I can, with all my experience and all my knowledge and my qualifications, I can give you really solid advice and point you in the right direction.
Okay, so if I won the lottery tomorrow,
well done.
And I had, let's say, 50K to invest right now, safe options, where would you suggest? How would we start with that? Just to give us, an idea.
It's the same answer, Jane, which is, I need to look at your situation and your circumstances. I need to know, Jane, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve over what time scale? Why do you want to achieve it? Why is it important to you? And then I can say, oh, that's very interesting. So, you have this appetite for risk. This is what you're trying to do and why. And I can go out and find the right solution or solutions for you to then help you make a decision. Interestingly, the one place that people traditionally thought was safe is absolutely not safe right now. Inflation in Germany and across the world right now is very, very high. Currently in Germany, it's over 7%. So if you put it in the bank, it's a guaranteed way of losing money, because you're not going to get, you're not get at or above inflation rate interest. So you're effectively going to be losing money each and every year, and that you hold it there. So now it's very important to whatever your investment choice is, that you're ahead of inflation. And that's very critical. So don't put it in the bank unless you have very short-term needs, in which case liquidity is important to you, then that's absolutely fair enough.
So as we've mentioned from the beginning that you work with expats in Germany, what happens if people are only in Germany for the short term, or they're not quite sure how long they're going to be there for, and they definitely do plan to return to their home country at some point in the future?
And that's the case for many expats. By our very nature, we tend to be a little bit more footloose than others. Other job opportunities come up, other needs arise, or we just get homesick at a certain point and need and want to go home. And as long as we know that, we can build that factor into the plan.
So my last question, Chris, today is, do you have plans to expand outside of Germany?
There are always those sorts of plans, although always those sorts of considerations underway. Horbach already has ties to Switzerland, and say we're the second largest, financial consultancy in Germany. We're always looking to support clients in other countries and other jurisdictions. Currently, there's nothing immediate, but we work with a great many partners around the world and across Europe, and we're always in a position to help our clients and support our clients if or when they move, and help them on their way and make sure that they've got sort of cross-jurisdictional support. So our clients are never left to their own devices. We will always support them wherever they are, wherever they go.
Good to know. So thank you very much for joining me today. It's been interesting to find out a bit more about Horbach. I'm putting along the bottom of the screen your website address. That's www.horbachexpats.com. If anybody wants to know more about your services or find out your contact details, they can take a look there. So thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure, Jane. Thank you too.